Hello everybody and welcome to a train simulator video. Today we shall be driving a Class 150/2 diesel multiple unit from Norwich to Great Yarmouth via Reedham. So the first thing we need to do is turn off the pause menu, and we shall enter the cab by pressing 1 on the keyboard. Now we do have the Armstrong Powerhouse Class 150/2, and uniquely for this scenario we are in a cold and dark state. So the first thing we need to do is open the doors by pressing T. Next we need to press Shift and W to insert the master key and press S to put press W to put the train into gear. Cancel the automatic warning system with Q, and then we can put the train into neutral gear. After that we can set up the train's lights by pressing I for the instrument lights, Shift and H for the daytime headlights, J for the marker lights, and K for the tail lights. And then the next thing we need to do is we need to press and hold the Z button until the engine start button illuminates on the dashboard, which indeed it has. And the next thing we need to do is we need to press the compressor speed up button, which is somewhere on the dashboard here. I think it was down here somewhere. There we are. So if I press that, and we need to wait until our brake pressure has been replenished. Ideally we're looking for around either 6.5 or 7.5 bar on this gauge here, and then we can release the brakes. But that is how to do the cold start procedure on the Armstrong Powerhouse 150/2. You can probably hear the fan running in the background associated with the compressor. Whilst we're waiting for the brakes to be replenished, we can move outside and press F8 to turn the destination blind to Great Yarmouth. And with that the train is ready for departure. If the brake pressure were to drop below 4.5 bar, the emergency brakes will automatically be applied. So it's this needle here that we're interested in at the moment. This needle shows what step our brake is in at the moment, which is full service application. And we're roughly about 7.5 bar now, so I'm going to turn off the compressor now. And as you can see, it's dropped down to a reasonable level. And with a bit of luck I can release the brakes, just a fraction. In fact, having said that, the Whilst the train doors are open, the brakes will automatically go into a full service brake application to prevent the train moving. Got a couple of minutes to go now before our departure time. If I press the F1 briefing, we have station stops at Brundall, Cantley, Reedham, Burnley Arms and Great Yarmouth. So we haven't got a strict timetable to run to on this scenario, which is a plus point. So we can just take our time driving up to Great Yarmouth today. Last thing I can do is also press Ctrl D. This will activate the vigilance device and this will sound every 60 seconds and we need to respond to it by pressing E. Just going to put the brakes into a step 1 brake application. I'm going to put the train into forward gear now in readiness for our departure. So having received the right of way from the guard, our starting speed limit is 25 miles an hour and there's about 5 miles to go to our first station stop at Brundall. Just going to cut the power to the train now as we reach 25. Just coming into Norwich is a Class 86 AC electric locomotive being propelled by a Mark II DBSO. And now the line speed has reached 60 miles an hour and this will be the maximum speed of the journey today. As we're at 60 now, I've just cut the power off. Just move the throttle into step 3 to try and maintain our speed. This advanced warning does not apply to diesel multiple units. It only applies to locomotive full trains, which need to slow down to 20 miles an to 20 miles an hour for the upcoming overbridge, as there is a weight restriction on it. This is Brundle Garden Station. Just slowing the train down for the next signal, which could be displaying a danger aspect. Can just make out the green signal so we can now accelerate. And this is where, of course, we now come under the control of the classic semaphore signals. Just had to put a emergency application on there because the station starter was at danger. Just coming in a little bit too fast to the station there. On the opposite side you can see another Class 150, the opposing train being in Regional Railways colours. If I swing the camera around, and the signal has just cleared to a green aspect. This is the point where the line to Great Yarmouth via Acle diverges. Should mention the scenario we are playing comes with this particular train pack when you purchase it from Armstrong Powerhouse. It's just started to rain now, so just turn the wipers on. just past the distant signal for Cantley, so I'm just going to start slowing down the train. With it raining, we may get some wheel slip. So we've just got some wheel slip there. So I've just put some sand down on the track. And here we are at Cantley. We've just got over a mile to go to the next station stop at Reedham. Just going to slow down a little bit earlier than I normally would for this next signal. We now have advanced warning of the upcoming 15 mile an hour speed limit. which comes just into force after leaving Reedham. Got a bit more wheel slip there, just as I can see the green signal. And here we are at Reedham. Just going to use my Xbox controller to try and get a bit of a better camera angle. The line's speed has now increased back up to 60 miles an hour. And I think it stops raining, so I can turn off the wipers. And this is where the line to lower soft diverges. This is my first time playing this particular scenario, and I've been very impressed with the way the weather's been scripted for this one. Just going to start slowing down for Burney Arms now. The platform is extremely short here and can only accommodate 2 cars. And here we are at Burney Arms, where we have a stop request. So, didn't really see the brief properly, I thought we had to open the doors. But I think Burney Arms is a request stop, and it's really a lonely station. It's about 2 miles away from the nearest civilization, and as you can see, we've just had a right away from the guard via text box. So if I just enter the free cam, we can see the train depart. Slightly overestimated the platform length at Burney Arms. It was actually only big enough to accommodate the leading car of our train. But you'd certainly wouldn't be able to get a taxi from this station, from this particular station, as it is literally in an open field. And the next station stop is at Great Yarmouth, which is about 4 miles away. I'm going to slow the train down for an upcoming 50 mph speed restriction. And at this point we joined the line from Acle. On final approaches to Great Yarmouth, the speed limit further drops down to 15 miles an hour. I'm actually quite surprised we didn't get any advanced warnings for those last two speed changes, especially with this 15 mph limit, as with it being so close to a terminal station. I would say the Wherry Lines itself is probably an easy route to learn to drive without the HUD. It's just a case of just simply knowing when to brake. But unfortunately I don't really have enough time nor the motivation to drive this route without the aid of a HUD. I could get around to doing it at some point though, you never know. And here we are at platform 4 of Great Yarmouth. Okay, and that's the end of the scenario. So we'll just see how we did there. And incredibly, we only got caught for speeding once. So thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you have enjoyed it. I've certainly enjoyed making it, as well as driving the scenario. So once again, thank you very much for watching, and take care.